Mm. Welcome to the return of the Predictions and Wishlist series. We have finished the animal videos, but now we move on to the content videos. In this episode, we will focus on new habitats. Habitats are one of the most important parts of any zoo. They help recreate natural environments for animals and make exhibits more realistic, educational, and visually appealing. Expanding the variety of habitats would allow players to create more diverse and immersive zoos. The ocean's habitat would represent the vast marine ecosystems that cover most of our planet. It would allow players to create exhibits inspired by coral reefs, coastal waters, and open ocean environments. Now we move on to South America, starting with the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest would recreate the world's largest tropical rainforest. Dense vegetation, rivers, and lush scenery would make it one of the most immersive habitats in the game. Next up is the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains would bring the spectacular landscapes of South America's longest mountain range to the game. Rocky terrain and high altitude environments would make it a unique exhibit area. Now we move on to Africa, starting with the savanna. The African savanna would be one of the most iconic additions to the game. Its open grasslands and scattered acacia trees would provide a perfect setting for many famous animals of the African continent. Next is the rainforest. The African rainforest would recreate the dense tropical forests of Central Africa. Rich vegetation and forest scenery would help showcase rainforest wildlife. Next, we have the African desert. Is the last habitat of this continent. The African desert habitat would introduce vast sandy landscapes, rocky outcrops, and dry environments inspired by the deserts of Africa. Now we move on to North America, starting with the California desert. The California desert would bring an arid ecosystem featuring cacti, rocky terrain, and unique desert scenery inspired by Western North America. Next, we move on to the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains of North America would feature forests, rivers, cliffs, and alpine landscapes inspired by one of North America's most famous mountain ranges. Next continent is Australia, starting with the Australian desert. The Australian desert would introduce the red sands and rugged landscapes of the outback, creating a distinctly Australian environment. And the next one is the Australian rainforest. This habitat would showcase lush forests filled with unique plants and scenery found nowhere else in the world. Next, wetlands. Um, we have some swamps. The swamps would add wetland environments filled with water, vegetation, and natural scenery that would diversify zoo exhibits. Next continent is Europe. Um, Europe, the first episode, the no, the first habitat is deciduous forest. The European deciduous forests would feature broadleaf woodlands that change with the seasons, creating a beautiful European setting. And the other one is the coniferous forests. And the European coniferous forests would recreate evergreen woodlands dominated by pine and spruce trees. Oh, we have another habitat. I almost forgot this one. Is the Alpine Mountain Range. The Alpine Mountain Range habitat would bring dramatic peaks, alpine meadows, and rocky slopes inspired by Europe's famous mountain systems. Next up is the polar regions. The polar regions would introduce frozen landscapes, snow-covered terrains, and icy environments from the coldest parts of the world. Next is Asia. Yeah, let's do Asia. So, the first habitat is the Himalayan mountains. And the Himalayan mountains habitat would recreate the world's highest mountain range with spectacular peaks and rugged terrain. Um, Next up is the Indian jungle. The Indian jungle would represent the tropical and subtropical forests of the Indian subcontinent, offering rich vegetations and vibrant scenery. Next up is Southeast Asia. The Southeast Asia habitat would feature dense tropical forests, rivers, and lush vegetation, inspired by one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth. And thank you for watching this episode of Zoo Life Animal Park Game Predictions and Wishlist series. Which habitat you most like to see added into the game? See you in the next episode where we will explore new decorations for the zoo.